Hey, what's up, everyone? Ben McFarlin, founder and CEO at Gas Valet Incorporated. Thank you for taking the time today to chat with me. I thought I'd share some information because so many people have asked questions about Gas Valet. It'd be a good idea to just kind of talk through it all. So let's jump into the FAQ. You'll find these FAQ or frequently asked questions on the website. It's www.gasvalet.me. You can go there and check out these answers as well. The first one that's most common is Gas Valet a separate company? The answer to that is yes. Gas Valet is a separate company. We are a tech startup, fintech as a matter of fact, based in Atlanta, Georgia, Delaware C Corp. Our goal is to make convenience stores more convenient. If you take a look at the landscape, typically your Walmart, your Target, your Starbucks, your Kroger's, they all have order ahead and then curbside delivery. They make the experience purchasing a lot more convenient and delightful for the customer. But your typical convenience store has none of that. And we intend to be the glue that will allow that C store to offer those services to customers as they arrive inside of the C store, outside of the customer store. So we're bringing the store out into the forecourt. You're going to be able to get contactless fuel and snacks, and later on we're going to extend it to rewards and then some proximity-based marketing, that kind of thing. That's all coming. It's in the pipe. So think of it as this platform is going to change or transform or enhance the way that you shop at your typical C store. Now, how much does the service cost? Now, as a startup company, I'll admit in the very early stages, we didn't have all our stuff together. The platform didn't work every time, all day. There were times when we would get our accounts shut down because our suppliers thought we were trying to commit fraud, and those were very frustrating times. But through a lot of communication and building those relationships, we helped them to understand what our business model is, how we operate, and what is normal and what is not normal. So now we run pretty smoothly, and as a result, now we've arrived at what we call, I think, product market fit, and we've also arrived at the right price point for the product. So what we've done is put $3 on there as a platform fee. This platform fee covers the cost of operations. Any business owner is going to know there's a lot of costs associated with running a business. You name it, from accountants to legal to marketing to payroll to card processing. There's a lot in there. And technology as well, that whole thing on the development side, there's a lot. So all of those fees and those costs have to be factored in to arrive at this one $3 fee. A lot of people have pushed back on this because they feel like, hey, the company's taking $3 away from the attendant. No, the company's facilitating the platform that allows the attendant to gain the tips. Without this platform, it wouldn't be possible. Does the gas station pay the attendants? That's the next question. The answer to that is no. Platform set up in such a way that the gas station doesn't have to pay the attendants. Will that model change in the future? Maybe. I don't know yet. But today, now we have one station. The gas station doesn't have a cost. Is there upcharge on the price of the gas? No. The price of the gasoline is the same as self-serve. You're going to pay the platform fee, and you can leave in a tip for your attendant based on how well they do. Now, I like this model because it incentivizes the attendant to do a great job. And I can tell you that our attendants really strive to do an awesome job. They're very personal, very respectful. They care, number one. I've handpicked all of these guys, and every one of them, right away, what I look for is that character. They need to care about the customer to begin with, because that's the beginning of that relationship. That's the beginning of reciprocity. Anybody can pump gas. Anybody can pump gas. That's nothing. But what we do is way beyond that. And the core of what we do and why we do it and like how we do it is, I think, a cut above the rest. Are the attendants paid hourly? No. They're paid based on number of transactions. They're independent contractors. They get up every day. They come in. They perform their jobs. They put on a uniform. They perform their jobs. They deal with customers, and they do that without supervision. I'm not there supervising them every single day. They choose their own schedules. Every week they choose what day they're going to come up and do their job. And this is the way it's been since day one. And we've refined it. We put in incentives for people to do other things and service customers. We have a leaderboard, and top performers get priority on shifts and things like that. But all of the attendants that we have are just at the core. We look for high quality people. And if we find somebody who is not performing well, who doesn't fit what we believe to be the Gas Valet brand, then they are going to be let go. There won't be any room for them here. And we've gone through a lot of that. We had to churn through a lot of people, and I think that's normal. But no, they're not paid hourly. They're paid for excellence. Okay, so when they come through, they're trying to execute perfectly and do a really, really good job for you, and that creates value for you. So please do show your appreciation for the job that they're doing. How can you tip the attendant? Well, we prefer to tip with the POS, or if you're going to use a mobile app, you can tip inside the mobile app. A lot of people have been coming in and they tip with cash. They tip with like a $5 bill, and they've got that $5 bill ready to go when they come in. It's like they ironed it at home. This creates a problem. Of course, for the attendants, some of them, they love it because, hey, it's take-home money, right? I get that and I take it home. But what it does, it makes them a target, because if they're standing there with that cash and word gets out that they're holding cash, now you're encouraging, a bad actor to come in and try to rob the attendant. So we want to put safety as number one. Please do tip on the card. Please do use the app to tip inside the app. And let's keep it fully cashless. And I think it's going to be a safer and like a slick transaction for everybody. Attendants are okay with that. Now, on occasion, if somebody comes through, for example, and maybe their card's not working, maybe the chip doesn't work or something, then, we'll accept cash. But our go-to is a completely cashless system. And I'll even take it a step further and just be a little bit more transparent about how we do that. Every single one of those attendants have a statement that they deal with. So meaning that, like, for every transaction that they do today, in a day, there's a debit, credit, debit, credit, debit, credit all the way through. And at the end of the day, the account gets reconciled. So they're responsible for every single transaction that they do, including the ones that are fraudulent. So again, I'm not there to manage them. They choose, to go into a transaction with a customer, and they're taking a risk every time that some person comes in to say, hey, I'm going to provide fueling for this person and they're going to pay me. If that person doesn't pay, then they're going to do, it's pretty much all on them. So they do have, how should I say, the possibility of a loss there. But that's part of the job. Again, we need to find people who are very responsible and who can operate under those conditions. It's not for everyone. Okay, can I pay with cash? I think we already covered that. Is my card information secure? I like to talk about this one. There's a little backstory on this. When we started out, my vision for what Gas Valet would be is that everyone would use the mobile app to purchase gasoline. Safe, clean, convenient. You load your debit card on there like you do Starbucks and you order the gas. And we still have that today, and you can use it. To me, it's the safest. It's more secure. You don't have to roll the window down. And the attendant loves it because they don't have to go through any of the stuff. They just get the order and they just fuel it and boom, let's go. But then the mobile POS came up. So I wasn't getting as much, how should I say, traction early on at another location. And then I said, well, hey, what's going on here? And a customer came to me and said, I'm not going to download an app to purchase gasoline. And I said, well, hey, I better meet the customer where they want to be met. And I decided to try what's called a square reader. I went and bought one, little square reader right here, bought it. And the next day went out, we performed transactions, and we did more transactions on the square than we did on the app. So right then I knew that that was the place to get started. So I doubled down on that. And we used Square for a long time, and it worked really well. But the fees are not good for the type of volume that we're doing. Square's for more boutique shops that sell a few items and they don't mind the fees. But if you're doing high volume, those fees can quickly get out of hand. So we had to find another solution. I went through a couple of providers, and in the end, we ended up finding a partner that allowed us to roll our own solution. So we do have a point of sale solution, a mobile point of sale specifically for the forecourt. It is for purchasing gasoline, doing the air pressure check, purchasing items out of the store. It's dedicated to that particular thing. So just like you have a restaurant POS, just like you have, beauty salon POS, there is now a convenience store POS, mobile POS for the forecourt, and Gas Valet has developed that, and that's what we have. So your card information as you deal with us is very secure. We only take two types of payments. The EMV, which is when you insert a chip, and then also tap to pay, which is NFC. That's an Apple Pay, Google Pay, and then some of the cards have it as well. If you got that little speaker icon on your card, you'll have that. So those are the only two payment types that we take in person. And that information is encrypted end to end. That's built in MasterCard Visa. It is so strong that if you use tap to pay and use NFC, those transactions are very tough to dispute with the card providers because they know that you actually had to be there and you actually had to use that card. It's an encrypted transaction. So it's super strong in that respect. Now on our side, full PCI compliance, meaning that none of your metadata ever touches our servers. A lot of that is actually stored, it's tokenized, and it goes in. All we know is that we've got a token that represents that transaction. We don't have any of that information. So if someone were to access our servers, they wouldn't get a thing. They have nothing. So I'm very proud of that solution, and I think that's something that I took very seriously early on, the financial security, because that was always a problem in the beginning. Customers would not go into a transaction with somebody that they didn't know and trust their financial. It's just never going to happen. So that part is very secure, and we're proud of that. Inside the mobile app, we take it even further. In addition, so let's just talk about mobile app onboarding when you add your card. One of the things that we do is what's called the pre-auth. So that pre-auth is actually going to place a small little charge on your card, and then you have to go back and then enter that amount. And what this does, it makes sure that the card user is actually the card holder, because not only do you have to have access to like the information, the card number, CVV, and the zip code, you've got to have access to the bank account to actually see the charge that was placed on there. Then once you get that amount, you enter that into the app, and that green lights the card to be used on the platform. So fairly simple, it sounds like, right? But most apps don't do that. We are one of the few people to actually do it. And the reason why is because in the very early stages, we had a lot of people try to commit fraud on the platform. So this was a way for us to combat that. The other types of security measures were not working. This one I like a lot. So the card gets greenlit on a platform, and then after that, you can use it. Now, when you go into the store, when you arrive at the station and you want to purchase gasoline using our app, you have to go into another transaction with the attendant. This is also a secure patent pending transaction. What it does, it has a valet code in there, and you just simply have to enter that valet code into the attendant. Behind the scenes, we're doing a lot of tokenization to actually make sure and authenticate the customer and authenticate the attendant to make sure that you guys go into a secure transaction. Once that happens, then he can purchase the fuel, he sends you back a receipt. And then we have that on file. In the event that there's any questions about what happened with that transaction, it's stored. So from a security standpoint, yeah, we've put a lot of effort into making sure that that happens. And I think that that's what makes us a lot different. So perhaps on the surface, it might seem really simple, but there's quite a bit that goes on in the back end. And in the end, what we are doing is allowing you to get gas safely. It's a lot more efficient, also a lot cleaner, and there's a whole lot that you don't have to worry about. You just pull up, I need fill up on regular, tap to pay, and you're gone. And all these other things, those complexities, you don't have to worry about and you don't have to deal with. So I said it to say the true value of Gas Valet is in the platform itself. It's also in the attendants that we have actually been fortunate enough to work with. Together, we are able to add that value. So when you think about that, as you come in, you think about the system as a whole, the reasons why you're using the system, and how much value it creates. We know that we won't be for everybody. If you don't value the system, if you don't value what it brings to the table, then yeah, you're going to go someplace else. But we think that what we are bringing to the table is definitely worth it. And I think that we've proven that over 18,000 transactions, being there for you day in and day out, in the rain, in the cold, putting physical security at risk. A lot of the guys are out there. They know that they could, have somebody come in and try to rob a gas station at any given point in time. All of these things are what these attendants are out here doing. So I want to thank you again for being a customer with Gas Valet. I appreciate it. And if you ever have any questions at all, you can reach out to me directly. I spend a little bit more time now here in the office, working on some new things. So I'm excited about that. Should see or hear something about that in the next 30 days. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much and have a great day.
I feel that this is one of the best system that I've seen in any of the gas stations I've been to. Whoever idea it was, I think it's an excellent one.
I was at a Shell gas station in Midtown, and I had got out and was standing on the other side of my car and finished pumping gas and got back in and started driving away and realized it was like, oh my God, where'd my phone go? I looked in the back, I was like, my whole work bag was missing. So I pulled back up and they had pulled the film, and while I was pumping gas, there was a man that came in my driver's seat, grabbed my phone, reached in the back, grabbed my whole work bag and left before I even knew it.
This whole setup is awesome, wonderful. The smiles, on their faces are great, and they're just very, very passionate about what they're doing. This is awesome. I love it.